Hello and welcome everybody to Switch It Up. Today I will be reviewing Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. And I'll go ahead and do that by giving you guys a quick summary of the game, followed by the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't Animal Crossing come out about 2 weeks ago? And yeah, it did, but to be honest, I wasn't even sure if I was going to get it myself. Now, since I am late to the game review, and since you are watching this, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're still on the fence about buying this game. And I don't blame you. I mean, what do you do? What's the point? What's the game even about? But with that said, guys, I was pleasantly surprised. Animal Crossing New Horizons starts you off in a deserted island with two randomly generated villagers, two little henchmen named Timmy and Tommy, and the big bad boss himself, Tom Nook. Alright, just to be clear, Tom Nook isn't exactly a villain. He basically is the island's owner, investor, and mayor. But there's a lot of talk online about Tom Nook being evil and taking advantage of people using his used car salesman personality, but I won't get into that here. Off screen, Tom Nook swindles you into an amazing sounding getaway to a deserted island where anything is possible, and he lends you the bells to do it, which is what the in-game currency is called. He also gives you tasks that help your island progress, such as procuring 5 different specimens of insects and fish so that he can lure an entomophobic owl named Blathers to curate your island's museum. All while flying from your private island's airport, Dodo Airlines, to randomly generated islands to farm materials and meet potential villagers that you can then invite to your island. From here, you can also access the multiplayer function of the game. The game also introduces real-world habits such as checking your phone every 5 seconds. Check apps on your phone such as the DIY app, which acts as the crafting menu for the game. With the summary over, time to get into the good stuff. Your personality will really shine through in this game, because you're basically creating your own world. For example, my girlfriend really enjoys designing her own outfits in the in-game editor and changes them like 10 times in the span of a game session, but she also enjoys decorating her home and the island and adding things like a community gym. As for myself, I'm really into collecting the fish and insects that are seasonal, as well as digging up fossils to build up my museum. And this by far has to be my favorite part of the whole game. Every time you find a new species of fish or insects, or even dig up a fossil, you can bring it over to Blathers, which he will display in your island's museum. There are 3 wings in the museum, one for your insects, your fish, and your fossils. And they've also introduced this system called Nook Miles, which are kind of like achievements in the sense that they give you little tasks to accomplish, but they reward you with Nook Miles. And with these Nook Miles, you can redeem them for things like DIY recipes, clothing, or Nook Mile tickets, which are the tickets that you need to visit those randomly generated islands I mentioned earlier. And one thing that'll certainly bring a smile to your face is when you're running across your island and a villager happens to see you, he'll run right at you at full speed, excited to see you just to give you a gift or show you something. The online function of the game is also pretty cool, but it could use some work, and I'll discuss that later. For example, your island starts off with a native fruit that's random for everyone, but via the online system you can trade with players and acquire all the fruit trees and grow them on your island. The last thing I'll mention in this section are the things that are yet to come. April has just begun and the leaves have already changed color, and an Easter event has been introduced bringing new recipes to craft. I can't wait to see what else they'll bring in. And there's many more things that I would like to say, but I want to leave a few hidden gems there for you to find out for yourself. Now it's time for the bad stuff. Nintendo's bare bones online infrastructure makes connecting with friends more of a hassle than it needs to be. Nintendo has delegated basic online functions that we have come to be accustomed to by other companies to the software developers. In the game, there is an app on your Nook phone to message your online friends, but the only issue is that it doesn't always recognize that a friend is online. There has been countless times that me and my girlfriend have been in the same room playing together, and I can't message her because it doesn't say that she's online, even though she is. Also, your friends have to have already come visited your island before you can ever see them coming online or even message them. So we found ourselves on Discord or Facebook organizing these meetups to trade, which isn't really that hard, but it's very inconvenient. It's also a little confusing inviting friends for the first time to your island, even with the tutorial given to you by the funny little pelican. And now it's time for the ugly. There's no real story or point to the game. It holds your hand for a little while, but then it lets go, only for you to realize that some of the features you want to access are blocked behind waiting. Literally, you can wait for up to days to access some features. And it's not even only features that are taking days. Buildings take days to be constructed. If you move your tent, it takes days for it to be fully moved. Growing a tree takes days, and when you pick fruit from a tree, it takes days for the fruit to grow back. I know people are saying, why don't you just time travel to speed up the process? this, and I could, but that's not the point, in my opinion. I shouldn't have to do that. The ugly truth is, if by this point you're still on the fence, then this game isn't for you, and that's okay. There's plenty of great games out there for you to play. With that said, I hope everyone's having a great day. I hope you're all doing the best to stay safe, and remember, switch it up every now and then.